Let's continue animating the jaw. We'll continue placing our extremes for the jaw. So let's go to our jaw control and make sure we're in our translate manipulator. Okay, and we'll continue where we left off. So right after the laugh, now we're getting to the point where the character has realized again, or has remembered that he is missing his body and he's getting a little bit depressed now. So we'll work on this sound. Let's go to about frame 139 and we'll drop his mouth to match that sound. About there. We want to scrub through, see if we like the timing and the pose. Alright, great, so let's continue. So here we have this somewhat of a long pause, so we can close the mouth here. Now let's go to about frame 179 or 178, just about there, and we'll close his mouth some. Like that. A long pause. And now let's see. Now he's about to start talking. Again, so he's saying have, so we need to have his mouth have that shape for have. So let's go to frame 190, and on that frame we'll open up his mouth like that for have. Scrub through. Okay, and continue. So now he's saying you and have you. So on about frame 193, what we can do is close his mouth some. Okay. Like that. Because we want to have his mouth get ready for the U shape that we'll be giving it a little bit later on. So his mouth should be closed like that. Now he's getting ready to say scene. So we need to open up his jaw a little bit. Let's do that on frame 196. So on frame 196, we'll just open up his jaw slightly, or his mouth. About there. Scrub through. So now he's going to saying the rest. So we need to give him that mouth shape. So on about frame 202, what we'll do there is just drop the control a little bit more. Because there he's saying rest. The rest. Okay, now he's getting ready to say the M in my. He says rest of my. So since we are putting our extremes in, let's go to frame 208 and close his mouth to get it ready for the M shape that we'll be giving it a little bit later on. Like that. And now he's saying the ah and my. So let's go to frame about 210 and open up his mouth to match that sound. Like that. Now he's saying the b and body. So we're going to need to close up his mouth, okay, for that B shape. So we'll do that. Let's see. About there. Now he's saying the ah and body. So we'll go to frame 216 and open up his mouth. Probably about there. Alright, great. And now he's saying the E in body. He's finishing up that sentence. So on frame 219, we'll now close up his mouth some for the E shape that we'll also be animating a little bit later on. Like that. Alright, great. So we've completed our extreme poses even for when our character starts speaking again. Now let's go to our last frame. Make sure we have movement on about our last frame. And we'll close up his mouth some. Because if you look from the end result of this lesson, the lips have somewhat of a pout. Okay, just to add a little bit more to the humor of this. Kind of like that. There we go. Because he is kind of sad. He's missing his body. Alright, great. So once we've made these poses, we can now do a play blast just to see if we like the timing of the poses as well as the poses themselves. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a play blast. Hey there! Have you seen the rest of my body? Okay, great. So we've got our extreme poses in for the jaw movements, the translate Y of the jaw. So now what we can do is move on to the next lesson where we'll start working on the in-between poses and getting the jaw movements looking much better.